and welcome. Today I'm going to be frying your brain with the tier list video. I have nothing else to say besides grab yourself a popcorn and a couple of pitchforks and a torch, because this is going to be a little bit feisty. Enjoy. You people asked for this, so do not try to say, why did I do this? You people asked for this, okay? I'm going to do my best and keep everything short. We have nothing in D tier, which is very surprising, but we have only one knife in S tier, and that's the Navaja Knife. The Navaja Knife itself looks incredibly nice. The blade of the weapon looks incredibly short and simple. It looks nice. The only problem is the blade is very tiny, and the handle of the weapon is very ugly. It's so horrendous that I'd literally rather pour bleach into my eyes than to be looking at this thing. But the only good thing about this is the clicking sound that it makes whenever you draw it out, and the nice little blade of it. That's it. On B tier, we have the Talon Knife. The Talon Knife is just basically the Karambit's younger cousin that tries to be more edgier and more cooler. I do not like the blade of it. I do not like the little saw teeth on the top of it and the little holes of it. That's just sort of... It's trying to be more edgier, essentially. And the handle of the weapon just looks atrocious. It looks horrendous. Why, out of all the materials you could have chosen for this knife, you decided to choose the most robust and the most ugly thing in the world? That is wood. You could have picked something like carbon fiber or leather, for that matter, but no, you just chose wood. But I'm getting out of topic. Sure, the animations look great. They look nice, but the blade of the weapon turns me off, and the handle of the weapon just sort of makes me want to throw it in a trash can. The Falchion Knife is a unique knife than the rest of them. Unique swinging animations, unique inspect animations, and a unique drawing animations. The blade of the knife looks incredibly nice. However, the handle is very... It looks poor quality. It looks like one of those types of handles you see at a dollar store, and then it's just it just has these absurd name tags. Durable and survival knife capable of cutting through anything. It can also handle rocks, anything. It's just it looks like one of those handles that you could literally made out of scrap. That's the only complaint I have about the Falchion Knife. It's a unique knife than the rest of the knives. However, the handle, it's just... I'm not a fan of. The Huntsman Knife, despite having the default animations, is a very visually appealing knife. It's not something I would really say a lot, but it's also one of those knives you don't really see a lot used in the game, because it has a very unique look to it, a very different aesthetic to it. The handle and the blade is perfect. They fit with each other perfectly well, and I applaud the Valve for making a knife that is simple, but very nice looking indeed. The only downside is it has the default animation, so that's the only downside I would really say to it. But it's not a bad knife. It's a really good knife. Next up on the list is the Paracord Knife. Now, before some of you pricks raise your pitchforks, I may put it down before I shove it outside. Anyway, the blade is okay. I like the blade, but it's something that does not appeal me whatsoever. Mainly because of that little damn hole that it has. I don't know what's up with people that thinks that hole equals good, but, I'm not really one of those people, but hey. The problem I have with the Paracord Knife is not the blade, it's not the animations, although I think the animations are pretty good. It's the handle. It is the most ugliest thing I have ever seen in my life. I don't know what Valve was cooking, but the handle of the blade of the knife, it just looks weird. I just don't like it. So that's why I think it deserves to be on B tier. The Stilleto Knife is also a unique one. Despite being a very thin and very small knife, it actually looks appealing, to say at least. The clicking animation am I fucking dumb? Anyway, the clicking sound every time you draw it out, and the little unique inspect animation, it looks great. It adds some bit of personality to it. However, the reason that it does not go to A tier or higher, it's mainly because of the thinness of the blade. Now, I am the type of person that likes blades that are like very thick and very long, but the Stilleto knife, despite being very thin, it actually looks visually appealing. Everything about the knife and the handle itself, it looks good. It looks antique, to say the least. It looks like something you would see in a historic museum, and that's what I love about it. It's a very pointy knife, to say the least, but you know, it looks good. Yeah, I forgot to include one thing in this list: the Nomad Knife. I do not like the Nomad Knife. The blade looks nice, but the handle, it does not look good. I don't really have anything else to say besides this knife, but otherwise, it looks way too basic. I know I've said that basic equals good, but knives like the flip knife, the bayonet, and the M9 bayonet, despite its simplicity, they look unique. But the Nomad knife, it looks way too generic. It is one of those knives you see on movies and games where the stereotypical soldier has just a basic knife that they whip out of their asses, and they're like, yeah, this is my knife I always pick. It's just the most generic ass knife. I'm sorry, but I just do not find this knife interesting. It looks way too basic for my liking. Now let's go to the A tier. The Bayonet is a very nice looking knife. It's very clean. The handle, it looks very clean. Everything about the knife is very clean. The only issue I really have is it uses the default animation. And another issue I have is, well, the blade is not exactly thick, to say the least. Like, it doesn't really look intimidating that much. Sure, some of you might say that it's more like a military tactical sort of knife, and yes, I know, but like, it's not thick enough. It's not long enough. So, that's my only issue. It has a very unique animation whenever you draw it out, so that gives it bonus points, but again, it uses the default animation, and the blade does not exactly look intimidating enough. But it is a very clean knife. Another knife we have on the A tier is the Survival Knife, or the Survivalist. It's good. It's simple, it's nice looking, the blade looks great, the handle looks great. There's really not much else to talk about it. Some unique animations as well. What more could you ask? It's a simple knife. It looks incredible. The blade, it looks good. I don't really have anything else to really comment on it. It's just there. It looks good. Another one on the list is the Ursus Knife. Now, the Ursus Knife looks incredible. The blade looks nice, but the handle is atrocious. Oh my god. If I was someone that was making knives for a living and I saw the handle of this thing, I would literally go and find the person that created this and chuck him into a furnace. Cause, oh my good god, that thing is not exactly visually appealing whatsoever. Now I understand that Valve has tried to make every knife have their own different looks to it. And I know they want to have like a different looks to it, like having different material to the handle. Some can have leather, some can have whatever. But the handle, if it was a different color, it might have looked nice. If it was like white, black, or even red for that matter, it would look good. But this color, it literally looks bad. I just do not simply like it. That's my only issue about it. It has unique animations. That's pretty much it. The flip knife, and I know the flip knife is a surprising one, but hear me out. Knives that are simple are a good thing. And that's what the flip knife is. There are so many knives in the game that try to be edgier and more cooler, to say it least. But the flip knife is a simple one, and that's what I love about it. It is a simple knife that does not try to act anything flashy, it does not try to act any sort of cool in a way, it just simply exists. Sure, the blade of the weapon looks a little bit too big for the handle to even hold it in, but this is CS we're talking about. Who gives a shit about reality? Let's not bring in reality into this one, because the game itself does not make any sort of sense whatsoever. Nada. But regardless, the blade looks interesting, because it has like this nice little curviness to at the very end of it. And the handle of the weapon looks really nice. I like the darker green color to it. It looks very nice. It looks visually appealing. The blade is not too tiny, nor not too long. It has a very nice look to it, despite its size. And that's what I love about it. and I do genuinely believe it deserves to be on A tier. Because it's simple. Now, this is going to be a little bit controversial take, but the Shadow Daggers is also another knife I think it deserves to be on A tier, and I have a very good reason to it. The number one reason being is its uniqueness. It is the only knife that has a very unique, distinct look to it than any other knife in the existence of CS. Unique animations, unique swinging animations, unique inspect, everything about the knife is very unique. But the only reason people bring this to the lower tier is because of their monkey brain being so fucking fried. Every time anyone sees a Shadow Daggers, they're like, oh, butt plug, oh my god, my butt plug, oh, that's literally how they act. I shit you not, every person I see that sees a Shadow Dagger, they immediately think of it as a butt plug, and that's why they put it on D tier or F tier. But in my opinion, it is literally the most unique knife in the game. Way different than any other knife in the entirety of CS. And that's what I like about it. The only complaint I really have is the handle looks uncomfortably weird, and the blade is too small. Those are the only complaints I have. That's it. Everything else about the knife is perfect. Now, I was originally thinking of putting the butterfly knife on B tier, but I decided to put it on very low A. Now, I am someone that does not like things moving around too much. The butterfly knife is one of those things. Sure, it has amazing animations and amazing inspect animations, but I'm not a huge fan of the handle and the blade itself. The blade is too curvy, and the handle is too weak, to say less. Like, it has this plastic feeling that it's going to break at any moment. I am never a huge fan of butterfly knives in any video game whatsoever. Regardless if it's Valorant, CS, Apex, it doesn't matter. I am not a huge fan of butterfly knives. I just never really found them interesting. I don't know if there's something wrong with me or with my ape brain that sees like big knives being cool, but I never found the butterfly knife really good looking. I was originally planning on putting this to B tier, but I'm not sure. I just never liked the knife. I don't have any reason besides, like, I just don't like it. The same thing goes with the Karambit. I was also planning on putting the Karambit on B tier, but meh. The Karambit is every edgelord's favorite knife. It is a knife that literally screams edginess. If you're a edge person, or one of those like quote-unquote angsty teens that have quotes like "I'm 13 and this is deep," then the Karambit is for you. The handle of the knife looks incredible. The blade looks good. It could have been better, but it looks good for now. However, I just don't like it. I never found Karambit-esque knives really to be fascinating to me. I never found them interesting. I never really found them interesting. So I don't really know what's up with people like bragging about it. I don't know if I had a different childhood than any other CS players, but that could just be me. But oh well. Now let's get into the S tier of it. So the first knife we have on S tier is the classic knife. Do I really need to say anything about the classic knife? Come on, it's the classic knife, for fuck's sakes. I don't really need to say anything about it. Do I? Alright, fine. The classic knife, it looks amazing. It has unique animations, the blade looks amazing, it has a nice little camel pattern to it, the handle of the knife looks incredibly nice, and that's it. It has unique animations than the other knives, and for the first time, it has a animation whenever you're just casually chilling or have the knife out. Basically an idle animation, if you think of it that way. And that's pretty much it. It looks good. The blade looks nice. The camel pattern looks nice. Everything about the knife, it looks great. Hold on, there we go. Now, the M9 Bayonet, I think, in my personal opinion, is a far superior knife than the basic Bayonet itself. Mainly because of its size. The Bayonet itself is a normal sized knife, but the M9 Bayonet is literally a man's knife. That is what a real man's knife looks like. It is a girthy long blade with a nice little jawline. I don't know what you call these, like, little this little edginess to it. A chainsaw. looking type thing, whatever you want to call it. But it looks intimidating. The handle of the M9 Bayonet looks incredibly clean. It looks nice. And the blade itself is nice, long, and thick. That sounds extremely wrong, but fuck you. Next up on the list is going to surprise some of you, but it's my #1 favorite knife in the entirety of CS's existence. That being the Gut Knife. The Gut Knife has, in my opinion, one of the most unique looking blade in the entirety of CS. This type of blade is something you do not see that much often in CS. And it is a far unique knife than any other knife in the game, in my personal opinion. Am I a bias? Yes. Do I care? No. But the reason I love the Gut Knife, it's two things. The handle looks incredibly clean, it looks incredibly smooth, it looks incredibly nice. It has a very good color to it. And the blade of the weapon is extremely girthy and very thick. It's literally the Big Bertha of CS. And I love it. The little curvy edge thing at the very end of the Gut Knife looks incredibly nice. The only issue I really have with the Gut Knife is the fact that it has this weird little ponytail at the back of the knife, which sort of triggers me in a way. But other than that, I love the knife. I love the Gut Knife more than any other knife in CS. The butterfly is not my thing, nor the Karambit, but the Gut Knife. I love it. It's one of my favorites. And finally, on the S tier we have is the Kukri Knife. The Kukri Knife is simple, same as the flip knife, and that's enough for me to like it. It's nice. It has a nice length to it. It has a very nice curviness to it. The handle of the weapon looks really nice, and the color grading to the blade itself, it looks incredibly clean. Same as the Bayonet, it looks clean, and that's enough for me to like it. Unique inspecting animations, unique swinging animations, everything about the knife is unique. I don't really have anything else to say. For some reason, this stupid tier list does not even have it, but the Bowie Knife is S tier. This is a real man's knife. This is a true man's knife. If you want a knife that represents how brave and powerful you are, then the Bowie Knife is for you. The nice and lengthy, huge blade just makes it have a distinct personality to it. And it's also one of the most unique knives in the game, even more unique than the Shadow Daggers, with new animations on everything. The swinging, the inspect, the drawing, there's just something about it there, it just screams power to it. The nice dark green handle to it just makes it, it's perfect. The Bowie Knife is the true definition of a perfect knife and all together. And I will stand against that to anything. It is one of the best knives in the existence, in my opinion. It's beautiful, it's nice, it's very lengthy, and it's very powerful. It is something you do not want to mess around with. This beauty right here is what a real man's knife looks like. And holy shit, I want one so badly. But the Gut Knife is also something I want. And the flip knife, and the Shadow Daggers. Those are the 4 knives I love in the entirety of the game. Shadow Daggers, Gut Knife, Bowie, flip knife. Those are the knives I love with the deep of my heart. But anyway, if you were expecting me to have like some sort of a fucking novel about how every knife has their ups and downs, then you're mistaken. This is me we're talking about. I am someone that has so much problems in my mind that I cannot even comprehend at this point. Because if I try to act philosophical for even 1 second, the whole world is going to combust at any point, because the one time I tried to be philosophical, I accidentally set like 5 houses on fire, and probably burnt down a car. So, I do not want to act philosophical, I'm just simply acting the way I am. So this is my personal opinion. Are people going to agree with this? Fuck no! The fact that they're going to be seeing the Karambit and the fucking butterfly knife at A tier, I was planning on putting B tier, but whatever, it's going to literally trigger everyone. But do I care? No! Who the fuck do you think I am? What do you think this is for, charity? No! I'm just giving out my personal opinion, but regardless, I'm getting out of topic. That's all I have to offer. Now, if you excuse me, I am going to go and barricade myself for the future. Goodbye. I'll see you next time, and I wish you all the best.